Okay, second grade, this is week 6, day 2, lesson 137, which has worksheet 137 on the front, homework 137 on the back, and this is going to be a review of the combinations and of the diphthongs that we have covered. Okay, so this year we have just learned all kinds of new things. Combinations, diphthongs are two of those things that we've talked about. Okay, so you may recall that a combination is going to be two letters that come together to make a sound that we wouldn't expect them to make. Okay, so we're first going to take a look at some of the combinations that we have learned. All right, butter, combination ER, and this is going to actually be the most common spelling of the sound that you hear in a word. Okay, so combination ER, other than when you have to use the letter R that says combination ER is going to be the most common spelling that you are going to find when you hear that in a word. Okay, horse, or, combination OR, and this is usually going to be an initial or a medial sound. Turtle, combination UR. This is usually a medial or final position. Bird, combination IR, which can be found in any position of a word. Quilt, combination QU. This is usually an initial or a medial spelling, and you will recall that U always comes after a Q. So anytime we use a Q in a word, we're going to put a U after it. Those two are connected, they stick together, they stay together. Okay? Dollar, combination AR. This is one of the more uncommon spellings of but we do see it as in the word dollar. Okay? Dollar, combination AR, and this is usually a final position spelling. Well, combination WH, and this is usually an initial position spelling. Star, R, combination AR, which can be found in any position of a word. Worm, combination OR, and anytime you hear the sound of in a word that is combination OR, it's followed by a bossy W, okay? Like worm, work, word, okay? Those all have bossy W's, which make that sound come out with the spelling of combination OR. And then you've got doctor, combination OR. This one again is another one that's not as common for the spelling of usually found in the final position of a word. Okay, so those are the combinations that we have covered this year. The next thing we're going to talk about are the diphthongs. Now, diphthong was one of those words that made most of you laugh the first time you heard it. Think for just a second if you can remember what we learned about the diphthongs. You can pause the video here if you want to try to talk through the diphthong, how we code it, how we know that a spelling is a diphthong. Okay, if you remembered that the diphthong, again, are two letters that come together, and they come together so smoothly they almost sound like they make one sound, okay? And they definitely end up making their own syllable in a word because of how they work, okay? It's the movement of the mouth that reminds us about the diphthong. So we're going to take a look at the diphthongs that we've learned, and we'll talk about the movement of the mouth with those, okay? All right, so here's the first one. Mouse, ow, combination OU. Now you should have seen when I said ow, and when you make the ow sound, your mouth moves. Remember, we talked about that. Ow. There's movement because that's two letters working together to push out one sound there. Okay, that ends up being it can end up being part of its own syllable in the word. Okay, mouse, ow, OU diphthong, and this is always going to be initial or medial position spelling. Okay, when you use OU, You're not going to find that, most of the time, you're not going to find that at the end of a word. Okay, let's take a look at the next owl. Cow, ow, O-W diphthong. Same thing. Check out your mouth. Ow. Okay, your mouth moves. Ow. All right, so let's think about O-W digraph. When you say O-W digraph, you know that that one makes the long O sound. O, like in bow. You don't have the movement with that digraph like you have with this diphthong when you say ow. Okay, so combination O-W is always going to be a final position spelling. Okay, so again, you're not going to use the O-U diphthong at the end of the word. You're going to use the O-W diphthong when you hear it at the end of a word. Okay, then we had oil, oi, O-I diphthong. Okay, same thing. Oi, oi. Your mouth is moving. It starts out with your lips perched and then you pull them back. Oi. Okay, again, two letters that are working together to make one sound there. Okay, oil, oi, O-I diphthong. Now, anybody think they can remember where we use the spelling of O-I diphthong in a word? It's always going to be initial or medial in a word. Okay, you are not most of the time ever going to find O-I in the final position, because for the oi sound in the final position, you will find O-Y diphthong. Okay, toy, oi, O-Y diphthong. This one is the one that's always going to be found in the final position of the spelling of a word. Okay, all right, so those are your combinations. Those are your diphthongs. So what you're going to do is you're going to look through each of the words here, and you're going to specifically be looking for combinations and diphthongs. Yes, you need to code everything else in the word, but specifically you're looking for identifying combinations and diphthongs in these words. Okay, so on the back side, these words, again, contain either combinations or diphthongs, or maybe both, and read through them, and then you're going to use as many of those words as you can in some sentences. Okay, so practice with combinations and diphthongs. Let me know if you have any questions about that.